I think we are streaming now. If not a bit early. Maybe a little bit early. Am I early? Am I early? And there they go. Olympus, Quentin, Ron, Adam, Connor, Rob M, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Bissy, the Metal God, Wagyu. What's up, Whip? What's up, Rhode Island? All the way from Rhode Island. What's up? Oh, we got Chris, Bobby Beretta. Got all the regulars. What's up, Peter? What's up, Showman? Man, we got all the regulars here. Hello from Germany. Hello, Germany. I appreciate you staying up so late. I know it's a little past midnight in there. Past 1 a.m. actually, right? You're 6 hours ahead. Sorry about that. Yeah, sound looking good. Everything looking good. Sounding good. All dried out. We're getting there. We're getting there. Mostly. I'm going to say yeah. You know, it's still got a little bit of the, the flood stank, but that takes a couple of weeks to go away. It's got to really, really dry out. 7 days, no power, snowed in. Yeah, isn't that the worst? And I'll get into that in a little bit when we get going. But yeah, it was a friggin' nightmare. It's like what a crazy week. What a crazy week. And we didn't lose power on the second storm, which might have been, I don't know. Yeah, well, no, yours is the first because you were all snow. See, we were all rain, but didn't matter. I almost wish we had snow because it was, although it was wet, heavy snow, which is we had on the second storm. And man, there was so many downed trees. Oh my God, crazy. What's up, Pennsylvania, Alabama, Netherlands, Lynn, North Attleboro? What's up, North Attleboro? Alabama. Probably don't get a lot of snow in Alabama, I'm thinking. Not a ton. 20 inches of snow. Yeah, we didn't get that bad. Some places got that bad on our second storm. That second storm, some of the places that set up, like a band set up out in Western Mass, sort of southern Vermont, like 32 inches, 36 inches. Cyclone bomb. Yeah, bombogenesis, right? Bombed out. It's crazy. The energy that just happens when that happens. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I hate the snow. You know what? I wished it was snow because it would have been locked up frozen and maybe melted a little bit, slowly, and it wouldn't be so bad. But this wasn't that at all. This was rain, dude. When I tell you this was rain, it was like, oh my God. So my basement will flood at about, once you get over about 3 inches of rain within a 24-hour period, right? If you're getting like 3 inches of rain in one day, that's enough to bubble it up from underneath. Like the water table rises quickly enough that it comes into the basement. And the sump pump just pumps it out. But that storm we got on Friday, we got 4.5 inches of rain. All right. And it was coming down so hard. And it happened so quickly. It wasn't, right? This was 4.5 inches of rain in a very short period of time. And it was raining so hard I could watch the rain like whipping off the guy behind me, his shed roof. And I was like, wow, the splatter back off of it was so intense. I was like, this is really driving the rain like into the ground, right? Goes to show like the intensity of the downpour. And I was like starting to freak out. So the winds, as I'm looking out the window, the wind gusts, they were saying it was going to be like 40 to 50 mile an hour winds and like 60 to 70 mile an hour winds at the coast. And we had like 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, and it was over 90 miles an hour at the coast. It was a lot stronger than they had thought. And we were up on a hill. You know, if you get into my attic and you look out, you can see a long way if you can get through the trees, right? There's a couple of trees in the way, but in the wintertime, you can see pretty far. So, you know, we're up on a hill, and my poor neighbor, I watched the shingles get ripped off his house. I was like, ugh. Like, right from the front, that the wind got under. His house was facing the wind. Mine, I had a broadside facing the wind. So when this was over, I had to go around and say, okay, well, what's missing? Like, what shingles are gone? But we didn't lose any shingles. We just had the roof done, and they're rated to 130 miles an hour. So, you know, we didn't get that nuts. But, you know, it was getting so bad. So when I saw that, I texted my kids, and I said, I don't want you to, you better come straight home from school today. This is dangerous wind. I don't want you out. This was, you know, not yesterday, but a week ago yesterday, right? Not yesterday, Friday, the Friday before that. They're like, yeah, we're coming straight home. I'm like, cool. So they get home, and the rain is so bad, and I can hear the sump going, and it's going a little bit more frequently, but there's no water anywhere. You know, and I'm like, well, maybe this will be over. And we had like a little bit of a light spell for a little bit, and I said, well, maybe this is it. And then, boom, the lights go out. And I'm like, oh man, that's no sump pump. So I immediately call my dad up and I go, hey, you don't happen to have a generator, do you? Because he lives, he only lives, halfway across town. I could just drive right over there and be there in 10 minutes. And he's like, no, he has one of everything. I'm like, oh God, the one thing I need, he doesn't have a generator. I said, okay. So I literally just went right in my car and drove straight over to Home Depot like a man on fire. And let me tell you, that was a surreal drive, okay? There were downed trees. There were emergency vehicles going everywhere. Most of the lights were out everywhere. It was like friggin' chaos, pandemonium. I'm taking the back roads to Home Depot. I get to my turn to go up to Home Depot, and I'm heading towards like the main road, like the little highway out there. It's not really a highway, but the main drag, the main strip. And as I'm heading up, it's bumper to bumper the whole way coming my direction. And I'm like, and I turn into the parking lot, and it's just pandemonium. Just cars everywhere. And what happened was a power line went down on the road, and they were diverting cars. If you were coming down the road this way, you had to turn down the street. And if you were coming the other way, they turned you into the Home Depot parking lot to cut through. And I'm like, ay, this is unbelievable. And I go running into Home Depot, and it's starting to pour. And the wind is just vicious. And I get into Home Depot, and like half the crew is up at the front at the windows watching all this pandemonium. The place is empty. And I run down to the tools, and I don't see generators, and I run back, and it's in like lawn and mower and motorized stuff. So they're like, no, it's down here. And a guy comes out with a pallet. He's got like 4 generators on it. And I go, oh, that's what I'm looking for, a generator. He goes, yeah, these are $6.99. I'm like, well, what else you got? $6.99. Let's go shopping down the generator aisle we know you got 4 right here. Let's go take a look. And he had one for $3.99. Perfect. It was like 4,200 starting watts, 3,600 constant watts. Plenty of power to run, my sump pump. No problem at all. So I was locked out of my garage because with no power, I can't open my doors. And I'm remembering the guy telling me, if you think you're going to lose power, come out and just pop one of these doors on the emergency pop, just so you can get in and out if you lose power. And he goes, if you're going to have a real bad storm, that way you can get in your garage. And I'm remembering, we're going to put a door in the garage, a side door, one of the, open doors, and, a walk-in door, rather than just the front doors. So I can't even get to my friggin' gas can. It's like stuck inside my garage. And I get back to the aisle, and there's a guy down there like looking at the generator, and I'm telling the dude, like, he goes, oh, the gas can's around the corner. I come back with a gas can. I'm like, yeah, let's get it up there, dude. And that guy is like bummed because the next cheapest one is I think $5.99 or $6.99. I'm like, yeah, see you, bud. Right up on the cart, gas can right out the door. And the parking lot is in such a way, it's got other businesses, like a lot of Home Depots, it's in with other stuff. So I just cut down the back and around the side. And I just like, admittedly, it was a dick move, okay? But I was a man on fire. I had a situation going on, all right? I wasn't driving home to I was driving home to a flooded basement. So I get back to the house, and I come downstairs, and the water is already over the sump pump basin going in. And it's like starting to pool out, because that's the lowest part of the basement. So now it's going to expand out across the floor. Nothing's pumping it out. It's just going to start expanding out like a goddamn swimming pool. And, everything is a good 2 or 3 inches off the ground, but that's about it, right? There's not a lot of room, margin of error. If that pump isn't running, I'm dead in the water. So, the generator weighs a ton. I had no idea. Like, I sort of shoved it in the car real quick. I get it out of the back of the car. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is really heavy. And cut open the top of the box. I get the thing open. It's got a couple of wheels in there. I said, I'm not going to put the wheels on. I'm not going to put the feet on. And I got to get it to the bottom of my back porch. So I just dragged it over in the box because I didn't want to scuff it up. And then used the box like almost like a little sled to bring it up the stairs. And then got it up there and got it out of the box and got it going. I got a brand new gas can that the guy gave me. I stopped and got gas on the way home. When I stop and get the gas, the guy can't process my order. He's got power, but he can't process my credit card. So I got to pay in cash. I had like $4 cash. I get the gas. I get home. I get the thing up there. I start to put the gas in. I can't get the gas out of the goddamn gas can. I must be an old man. I'm freaking out. I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. I just need to get the gas out of the gas can. And I'm like freaking out. And you know what it is? It's like, it's got like a pop, and you have to hook the side on the side of the friggin' inlet and push down, and that like opens it up. It took me a little bit, but I needed to get this done, okay? I was in what my wife was calling man panic, or what I would call manic. I was in a full friggin' man panic. And I finally got the gas going, fired it right up, got the pump plugged in. And it's funny because I got the line and I'm saying, geez, it's not going to run out the door. And I said, what are you doing? You're going to run it right up the staircase and right out the back door. And of course, I had plenty of line for that. Right up the staircase, right out the back door. And plugged it in, and it took a good 10 minutes to drain out that pool. Finally got that out. I was like, oh, thank God. And then it just pumped out for the rest of the day. It was 2.5, almost 3 hours before the power came back on. Can you imagine the damage that would have been down here if that kept going? I mean, it really would have been catastrophic. Just for the amount of water I was chugging out of here, I'm so used to it. I'm so, just familiar with like the rate of flow. I actually have a hole in the floor that I know the rate of pressure based on how high the friggin' spout is. So if that spout is shooting up like this tall, I'm in for a long night. If the spout's only like this tall, then I know it's not a ton of static pressure, right? So it wasn't too bad. I was able to catch up to it. And that's when I posted the picture, because I was finally sitting down. I was just going, this is unbelievable. And the only good thing is that, it was a quick $400 on that generator. What are you going to do? You got to do it. And now I have a generator, and now we're going to put a side door in the garage, because if I don't, my generator's going to be in the garage. I'm going to lose power. And I'm going to be running down to Home Depot to drop $400 on another generator. And, man, it was just one of those days where it was just a good 2 hours, a good hour of just absolute complete panic. You know, because I had taken a lot of stuff off the floor, but I have a lot of guitars on racks. And again, that guitar is only about this far off the ground. You know, that's not a lot of tolerance. Is it Fluff? Is Fluffy here? I see that. Hold on. Is that my man? My main man? It is. Is there a gas station between now and the end of this story? There was a gas station. There actually was. So, yeah, the moral of the story is, you know, if you're going to have a situation where you're going to need a generator, you should probably buy one. And then the guy puts the electric doors in your garage and he says, you know what, if you think the power's going to go out, you should pop one of these first. That heeded his advice. It was invaluable at the time. I just didn't realize it. You know what I want? Someone said put in a transfer switch. If you have, like I do, if you're on natural gas, you got full-on gas, you can get a whole house generator, about $3,500. They put out about 17,000 watts. Pretty sweet. And it uses a battery go-between. So you lose power, the battery takes over, runs everything for just enough time to get the generator running, fires up the generator, which runs off of natural gas. It's outside your house. It looks basically like a refrigerator on its side, small refrigerator on its side, good-sized refrigerator on its side in the back of your house. And it just runs off the natural gas until the lights come back on. And then when the lights come back on, the battery switches it back over. And the generator shuts down. That's the world I want to live in. What's up, AI Gaming? Steve got a 12-volt battery backup sump pump. I could do that. The only downside with the battery backups is that they pump only about 3/4 of the water that a full electric one can do, and they don't last that long. So it's one thing to if it can last like if you're only out of power for a couple of hours, but if you're out for if this happened in the middle of the night, God, I would have been so screwed because Home Depot wouldn't have been open. Oh, it would have been a nightmare. Like, what a friggin' nightmare. Hey, BB Ninja. What's up, buddy? We got everybody here tonight. Got all the crew. What are we doing for numbers? Oh, we're getting there. Got a few people showing up. Hey, Kurt. What's up, buddy? And Ben? And Locking Nut? It's not strong enough for cathedral. And this volume knob, this is not a cathedral volume knob. They actually have a water backup pump, right? It runs off of the water pressure of your house, but it ejects like a gallon of your own water for every 2 gallons or 3 gallons of sump water. That sounds expensive. When you're trying to pump out 4,000 gallons an hour. So The other crazy one was on Wednesday. We have another storm maybe coming Monday, but now they're saying it's or Monday night into Tuesday, but now they're saying it's tracking more offshore, and it's not going to be anything. We'll see. But we had a storm Wednesday that was rain that turned over to snow and wet, heavy snow. And I remember looking, I get a security cam, and I can see, the front of the house and the shadow from the phone line, right? It goes off the power line goes a different direction. You can't see it, but the phone line you can actually see, and it's a pretty small line. So I'm looking at it, and it's getting bigger and bigger. That thing had to be 4 inches across from the wet of the snow. All the trees were bent over. At one point, I watched the street plow come by. He goes down one direction. He turns around. He's coming back. I'm like, what the hell does he have in front? He was pushing a giant tree limb off to the side. I saw him go up on the sidewalk. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? But he was taking a tree off the road. I was like, damn, this is really bad. We didn't lose power on that one, but I had a lot of friends that lost power on that second storm. We only lost it on the first one, and it was really, I think it was wind, knocked down a tree a couple of streets over, and it really whacked a pretty big area. And we had a tree over behind us, one street over, go down. I mean, just missed a house. It was huge because with the rainstorm, the ground was so soft and the rain was so soggy. Trees and the wind was so strong, trees literally couldn't stay in the ground. They were toppling like crazy. People died in your area, yeah. And I had expanded out the studio. That was one of the things that caused a big delay was I didn't like my keyboard up here. I didn't want my keyboard on this desk any longer. So I wanted to move it over here, but if I did that, it was literally in the middle of the room. So I said, you know what, I'm going to extend the room. And I did. I extended it out another 6.5 feet. Another 6.5 feet to bring it to the center beam, right? The main beam in the house. And that allows me to move the keyboard off of here, over there, second keyboard, get it out of here. It's a huge improvement over what I had with that up here. And to sort of get into full on studio mode, I went out and bought a Native Instruments Control 61, right? What an absolute piece of garbage. The hardware was killer. Top notch, all right? And if you have a Mac, maybe it runs fine. But on a PC, they can't write a driver to save their lives. It was just the worst thing. Microsoft, and again, I loaded it before I plugged it in. I mean, I have worked in IT. I am Microsoft certified. I know a little bit about it. I'm and of course they wrap everything up in an exe. I can actually explode that exe, which is what I wound up doing. I wound up decompressing their executable file, going in there and finding the INFs and trying to just install by hand the INFs. And at one point it forced a reboot, and I said, well, this is it. This is probably going to do it. Still could not get that hardware to work. So big thumbs down on the, and I wasn't alone. If you go to the Native Instruments website, it's just rife with everyone saying, what the hell? It won't light up. It's not working correctly. I returned it, and I wound up getting an Akai MPK. I want to get the small one to put it right in front of me. And you know what? That thing is awesome. So, sorry, Native Instruments. I try to give you my money. Steve from Boston, any thoughts on the 11 rack? They're blowing them out right now, right? Isn't there something going on right now where the original 11 rack is getting... So I saw that posted somewhere. And I think it really depends. Is there two different firmware models to it? And it really depends on the one you get. Like an older one isn't quite as good as one. A next gen, even though it's all 11 rack and they never really called it anything different. And maybe you can firmware up the old one to a new one. I don't really know. I know the head rush is the extension of that. That's where it, the intellectual property for all those models eventually went. It went to head rush. But I've heard some samples from the 11 rack, and they sounded amazing. And I'm like, why does everybody hate on this unit? Because what I heard sounded really good. It was a Marshall emulation, and I was like, damn. That sounds really good. But for whatever reason, you don't see a lot of, 11 racks out there. And they're cheap. They're like, what, $400? $300 used? That's pretty cheap. Let's do it on this Fitwood. This is rosewood, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not rosewood because of sights, but I thought it was rosewood. There's not a lot of data on it. They got the guitar out before they got the brochure out. It's the D59X. I don't know if they've updated the website yet. But 11 rack for $349 at Sweetwater. Yeah, that was it. Your thoughts on Buckethead? I am going to see Buckethead. A buddy of mine who's not a guitar player, not a musician, he's in full Buckethead mode. Buckethead is our greatest musician. Buckethead's a genius. Everybody is not Buckethead. He's in full on Buckethead mode. So he bought tickets to go see Mr. Head at I think the Wilbur or the Bach Center, somewhere in the theater district. And I'm going to that in April or May. I think it's April. And I'm really looking forward to it. Buckethead's one of those guys that takes a while to grow on you, but I really love his stuff. And not just Jordan. I mean, that's easy, right? To say Jordan and, his other, what's that ballad he does? You know the one. It's a lot of that Pike stuff. Those Pikes, man. I got a lot of those, downloaded them online, and man, I love his use of like electronic in the background. Some of his stuff is just straight up acoustic. Anytime he does a song about his parents, it's almost always worth a tear. Hey, the guy's, he's a writer, man. He's good. I like Buckethead. The PRS John Mayer Strat. I don't know. I could take it or leave it. I think it looks nice. A lot of people are hating on it, but it certainly looks Strat-ish, but there's a ton of guitars out there that are so-called S-shaped. So, nothing groundbreaking about that. What it is all the PRS quality and attention to detail and that neck profile. What's weird is it's a 7 1/4, right? That's a pretty round neck. That's quite vintagey, All 11 rack is horrible, for real. Yeah, he's playing in Pawtucket, too. Yeah. You know the guy I'm going with him with, Jablonski, King. What's up with these names? Can't you just be like Mark Blue? Great name, Mark. Like that name. It's easy. Or even Crystal Image. It's probably not his real name. Soothsayer. That's the one. Chicken Coop, aka Occasion Studio, doing the GNR record. Yeah. Yeah, no, the guy's a little out there. You know. And Jim nails it. The guy is an acquired taste. But the guy is a shredder, you know? And if you're not into shred, I could understand why you don't like him. Probably for the same reason you wouldn't like Yngwie or Joe Stump or, you know, even Satriani to some degree, right? Because they're just instrumental, full-on shred guys, right? Or Steve Vai. But I think he's great. You know, he's just so out there. You know, people get tired of the shtickler. You know what I'm saying? But his shtickler seems to be fairly genuine. You know, his exchange of presence with the audience. Gotta love his robo dancing, man. He's got it down. New Guitar Day, yeah. In fact, it is a new Guitar Day. It's a little early to break that out, though. Let's tease that shit up a little bit. How are we looking for people here? What are we doing? We hitting 400? Yeah, sure. Yeah, a few people. A little bit. See, I'm missing that bottom one. Yeah, maybe not quite. There we go. I'd like Buckethead without the shtick. Yeah, you know, it's what he does. You know. You got to admit, he owns it. Yeah, I'm sure his backstory is amazing. I remember when he was in Guitar Player magazine. That was a long time ago. And then when he came out, everybody said, that's Paul Gilbert. Because Paul Gilbert was a little nutty back then. That's when he was like, right? And so everyone just assumed Buckethead was Paul Gilbert, but they were wrong. Buckethead is Buckethead. I watched the Barney Miller video. Very good. Yeah, I watched it again. I wasn't crazy about it. I was like, Jesus, I think I nailed it a little better in other takes, but you know, you probably picked the one that has the least amount of screw ups in it. And plus, it's a MIDI backing track, right? Always annoying. Thoughts on Mrs. Smith? I freaking love Mrs. Smith. Okay? And, you know, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But I get it. And I think it's hilarious. Did you see her in the Gucci ad? See the goddamn Gucci ad that aired in France. So, that's awesome. I friggin' love Mrs. Smith. I think she kicks ass. Didn't Paul Gilbert teach Buckethead? I don't know. You know, you always hear those rumors. You know, definitely Satriani taught Steve Vai. You know, there's some ones out there for sure, but I don't know about the Gilbert and the. He might have. Yeah, Paul is really tall. I've met him a couple times. Why is it so hard to type in the chat? I don't know. Looking your way, YouTube. Sadly, I don't code any of this. Yeah, the dude is a shredder. Well, and it's all kitsch. It's all camp, right? So Mrs. Smith is just... And like Steel Panther, you're like, when does the joke get old? And maybe it's right around the corner, but so far it hasn't. It's still pretty friggin' awesome. It's just like Steel Panther is, right? So as long as... So you know the backstory on Mrs. Smith, right? That she was kidnapped by a Norwegian death metal band. And she wasn't forced to learn shred. She just did out of sheer boredom. But then she wound up replacing the guitar player in the death metal band. And then she was like, for as scary as it was to be kidnapped, the internal politics of a death metal band, or Norwegian death metal band, or even scarier. So she's got the shtickler. It's good. Obi-Wan Buckethead, yeah. Maybe. Sean Lane was, probably technically he might be one of the greatest guitar players that ever lived. Just in terms of like sheer technical ability. Bucket's having heart problems, so I don't like the sound of that. Hope he takes care of himself. He sounds like the type of dude who would. He's usually a person that meticulous about, like his playing ability. He's usually pretty meticulous about their, like, look at Paul Gilbert. He's very, way into it. Hey, Larry, Steve, I'm sorry I'm late. What did I miss? We just talked about the flood. The flood that almost was catastrophic and turned out to be just mostly a soaking wet rug, and that's about it. I'm really good about keeping stuff up off the floor. What's your opinion on the Chapman British Standard line? I thought they were really nice. I actually did pick a couple of those up at the NAMM show, because that was sort of like the new thing to check out. And the quality was there. You could just feel it. They were high end, and it's probably a good thing. Like, the Toyota has whatever, Lexus and so forth, right? Honda has Acura. You need a high end line to go with your standard line. So the Pro Series is really nice, but I think that the internet, right? So I was always giving you shit. And I think people were like, how come you making your guitars in Korea? Why don't you make some guitars in the UK? And he's like, all right, we'll make them in the UK. And they'll be like handmade high-end. They're like, that's too expensive. It's like, you're not going to get Korean-made prices in the UK. That math just doesn't work. Just like it's really hard to get it in the US. The math just doesn't work. So they're high-end instruments. And when you do that, you got to go all in, right? You can't do a half-assed high-end instrument. You can't cut corners on a high-end instrument. And that's how the price just keeps going up, because people won't tolerate it. They don't want a half-assed guitar that's still going to cost $2,000. They'd rather have a completely kick-ass smoking guitar that's $3,500. Steve, what do you think about carving guitars? I just bought a 90 DC400 from the original owner. He's friends with John Kiesel, and he built it in a bass for him personally. Got a hell of a deal. I like carving guitars. I bought a carving recently, and it's like one of my daily drivers now. In fact, I was playing it earlier today. I had a friend over, and we were going through some stuff in Ableton, and I was using that for most of the riffage, and it sounded good. Even he was saying, he's like, dude, that guitar sounds pretty awesome. I really do like it. What amp are you using right now? I'm using the dual heavy rig, as I usually do. I can't quit you. I'm always going back to that one. That's a dual rig, as the name would imply. And they're heavy amps, as the name would imply. It's a DV Mark in one channel. Is the top the left and the bottom the right? Maybe. So DV Mark left channel, England, which is like an angle. Burn Sphere. Was that a fireball? Burn Sphere. The DV Mark's a marigold, though, and that's genuine. With that being said, do you think that's a good way for Chapman to grow since Gibson is going under and they got picked up by Guitar Center? Well, I don't know that it matters that Gibson's going under. There are plenty of, and the Gibson isn't going under. Okay, let's just go right there right now. Gibson is not going to go under. The current management at Gibson might get ousted, but Gibson as a company is not going anywhere. They just had another layoff. They laid off 15 people from their custom shop, and that's a cost-cutting measure. But 15 people, that's not $175 million, which is what their next payment is. So, the bonds that they floated, as I understand it, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. I understand they're secured bonds, which basically means it's collateral, right? They put up their physical plan. They put up their company as like collateral on the bonds. So if you, just like there's a security on your house, like the mortgage has security on your house, even if you go through bankruptcy, you're not personally liable to pay off the house, but they get to keep the house. This house gets sold to pay off the debt because it's secured, and you don't get to keep the collateral. You have to either liquidate it or sell it to another owner. In the case of a business, and another owner comes in and they take it over. The bond holders, I think, have already stated that they won't allow current management to stay. Right? That was the news that came out in the last week. The bondholders basically said, yeah, my volume should be okay. I'm rocking like a little bit. It's up. Here, I'll give you a tiny bit. There we go. What would happen is either they would work out a deal where they would refinance through the current bondholders or whatever primary investment group is the largest bondholder, and the management would get ousted, they get replaced. Or it would just go into straight up bankruptcy. And it would just go through that. Again, management very rarely survives that. So it would most likely be sold to another investment group through the bankruptcy process. So who knows? Justin, dude, I hope that was supposed to be 50. We've had problems in the past. Hey, what's up, Ken? Yeah, that kicks ass, bro. Much appreciated. And it helps. So if someone was asking me, like, why don't you just put the French drains in? It's about $10,000, maybe $12,000. It's a lot of work. They got to smash out the concrete. They've got to put in all this stuff. Labor up here in Massachusetts is super expensive. So it's just, it's expensive. There's no other way to put it. So what I think I should do is I should add a second sump pump, right? And make them perforated pumps. Right now they're spill-ins. Spill-ins are a joke. That's old-timey, right? That's old thinking. It's all perforated now. And if it's a radon problem, you can put a radon shield on the top. So I'm probably just going to switch it out to perforated, gravel-surrounded perforated. What's up, PB Brown? P. Brown from Chicago. It was supposed to be 500. Yeah. You guys. I had French drains done around my house back in 2009, and it was 5,500. Yeah, that was about right, and that was 9 years ago. Yeah, it's up a bit. Maybe I could get it for 7,500 or $8,000, but is that the job you want to give out to the lowest bidder? It's like when you have your elevator installed by the lowest bidder. So the sumps could work, especially if I put like one French drain just to go into the middle of the floor from one of the sumps. I think that would be a lot to take the pressure off, and would go a long way. And a perforated sump, especially if I added a second sump, I think it would go a long way to pulling the pressure out of the bottom of this floor. You know? But, that one's for Phil. I think it's his birthday today. I am 2 days older than Phil. So I'm always telling him, dude, it's someone 2 days your senior. Ask him what this? Yeah, that's my mixer. That's doing my voice. That's why this is moving. Check, 1, 2. Boop, 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 doop, doop. I'm not drunk. You're drunk. Hey, thanks, Jeff. See, Jeff figured it out. Oh, happy birthday, Ron. All right, let's see if I can, we got a looper here. All right. Let's see. Ready? All right, let's see if we can do this. Ready? There you go. Plus, I'm out of tune. Am I out? Yeah, little flat. I hate this tuner on here. Yeah, supposed to hit the 3. I hit the flat 3. All right, there we go. And I'm done with the looper. Rock lobster, that's out. And it goes right up and back down again. I think he hits the E on the way, right? Right? It's literally just all those notes. Da, 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 da. He just doubles the speed, right? It's a nice little break, considering those guys knew absolutely nothing about music. If there was one band that I could honestly say, you know what, they are self-taught, it's that band. Is that the bridge neck? It's the bridge. That's the neck. That's the neck. That's the bridge. And this is the bridge in coil cut. I think we covered that. Can you still play Still? Can you play Still the Night by Why I Say? I'm out. This isn't the right guitar for that, though. The right guitar for it is nearby, though. Is it time to switch out and reveal the new guitar, which is much more suited for that guitar, that tune. What's up, Epitome? Munster's theme is... Yeah. There it is. Dumbledore that shit out. The D, right? Tune. Yeah. People are saying it's time to switch. Yeah, it could be time to switch. I think I'm ready to switch. Damn it, I'm out of coffee. All right, we're switching. All right, here we go. Ugh. Oh, that's already got a strap on it. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take that off. We're just going to move that. Check. That's still working. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to mute that. You don't hurt your ears. Oh. I'm checking that. It's gotta go under. All right, hold on. I know, exciting. Very exciting. Oh, jeez, hold on, I just gotta hit something here. And right there. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna check out. No, that's not it. There we go. Cool. And I'm back. Oh, that's right, and I muted it. I do this every time. Oh, the strap is actually just a touch low. Hold on. Oh yeah, that much better. Much better. Yeah, I don't like I don't like guitars too low. So some of you will get that. Yeah, this is I'm already playing a million times better. That's what a strap can do for you, you know? This neck is like a friggin' Ferrari. Hold on. I just restrung it. And this has like, I think, I forget if that's, so that's humbucker. And then it's, I think it's two singles, right? Two humbuckers. And then I forget if it's two different coils or out of phase. And then the front. This probably isn't the best tone to hear pickups. Let's switch to, what do we have here? Well, we could do a couple things. We could do more of like a blues tone. Or we could do, I have a different blues. That's called the Blues Room, which has a lot of reverb on it. This is a contemporary blues. Yeah, this is from Octave, right? Octave Music. Octave Music is who sent it. It's in Illinois. It's Illinois, right? You order something, you're like, where are you from? Indiana. I knew it was one of those I's. Had an I in it. The finish on this is killer. The neck on it is absolutely killer. The tuners are killer. It's like these open, locking tuners. Even though they're locking, I'm so used to it. I wrap the poles a little bit. I actually think it's a little bit more stable with a couple of wrappings on it. Sorry. Because when I don't do that, if I change the tuning a lot, it seems to break where it enters. Right? I like to get a couple wraps on it. That's just me. You can do what you want. The finish is so sick, though. So sick. Trying not to Cartman out here. I'm just looking at it in the monitor. Looking good. Looking real good. So, someone says, what's the neck comparable to? Okay, that's a great question. This neck is slightly wide. This is like an Ibanez sort of in its width a little bit. I'm feeling, but not quite as thin front to back as an Ibanez. A little bit more to it, but it's not. This is not a big neck. All right. This is a very comfortable, slim, fast taper neck. I mean, like this is like the Ferrari I stand by the Ferrari comment. It's a really very comfortable neck. That's slightly wider up here. Down here, the width is like Fenderish. Up here, it's feeling a little bit more Ibanez-ish for its width. But it's not as flat on the back as Ibanez is. Maybe a little bit. It's hard to explain. It's got its own neck profile, that's for sure. But I like it. It's very comfy. It's an ebony fingerboard, and it's stainless steel frets. That makes 2 guitars now. There was a guy on here whose name was literally stainless steel, and he kept saying, why don't you own these stainless steel frets? Well, now I have 2 guitars with stainless steel frets, the Carvin and the Chapman. Yeah. So the headstock is, I think it's ebony. Right. God, I got to get it in the light just right so it's not and that's wrong. Yeah, kind of like there. No. Like there. You can see the striping. Like right there. It's a little slab of ebony. So, they do it up. And it's full on neck through. It's not just Monkey Lord approved. It's Steve from Boston approved. I'm looking at it over here in the monitor. That's why I'm not looking your way. I'm seeing where it's at over here. So yeah, that's the. This is and this showed up like right before the flood. Well, the other thing is, and you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna take this off for a second. Oh, really? The case on this was killer. See that? The case on this was. I mean, these were like. This is one of the nicest. Wooden cases I had seen in a while. It's got I don't know if you can see it, the feet on the bottom. It's got the feet on the bottom, like right here. I was super impressed with the case. I was like, whoa, that's premium. That's premium. What's up, Johnny? Is it out? No, my mic's on. It was just over there. Steve, do you like BC Rich? I do. These go for $9.99 new, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't get artist pricing. And I don't think we're supposed to talk about that. The first rule of artist pricing is not to talk about artist pricing. But I appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Hey, Steve, did you get to meet Chapman Guys and M? I did, and we talked about, maybe getting me a guitar. I'm not an official Chapman artist, all right? Let me just be very clear about that. But they were really nice to me about the pricing on this, and that's appreciated, And this one came from Octave Music in Illinois. Long mouse. God. This two keyboard, two mouse system it's getting to me. Check. Am I still got volume here? Yeah. It seems a little low, doesn't it? I got a problem here? I got a problem with the mic audio? Hold on a second. My foot caught up here? Watch your ears. Check. Yeah, there we go. That seemed a little low, didn't it? God, my foot is so friggin' caught up here. That's my crusty. There we go. Now that's phone. If it ain't one thing, it's another. How's my volume? Yeah, I think I'm back, right? People are saying I'm back. Good. Yeah, it dropped out for a second. I think I hit something. Unless I'm losing my... I could be losing my battery. Someone said, is that guitar at the right price point? I think so. In fact, it's kind of a bargain. It's nice. A nice guitar. I was duly impressed. Like from head to toe. It really was pretty sweet. I was like, damn. 594. Fun. Thanks, buddy. What gauge strings are on it? I'm not sure from the factory. I ripped the strings right off and put my new set of clear tone 10s on it. Sorry. So, I like a certain string. I just threw my 10s on. These are 10s, yeah. Hey, what's up, Cheddar Kung Pao, buddy? Very much appreciated for the 594 fund. Does that one have the ghost frets on it, or do all Chapmans have them? So the ghost fret, you have to realize, the ghost fret was his idea where it was going to be partially fretted and partially not fretted, right? And then the guitar industry explained to him how incredibly difficult a partially fretted guitar was going to be, like where the low three strings would be fretted and the high three strings wouldn't be fretted, and they're like, that's not going to work. And so, but that's where the name came from, and then he just kept it for the Mini Explorer body shape. He liked the name Ghost Fret, and he just stuck with it. But they all have the same stainless steel frets, I'm pretty sure. They're pretty consistent. One thing I do like about this is the frets don't go all the way to the end, right? There's a tiny bit before it, and so the side is pure wood. I like that because I'm not going to have to worry about fret ends in the winter. And no one plays strings right to the very edge of the string anyway, so I'm good. I really prefer that. Yeah, I second what Cheddar Kung Pao said. Thanks, Terry, for all the moderating. You're awesome, bro. Why would you want half of the neck with no frets? You wouldn't. So he thought the better of it. It came out. It was sort of like, the original thought, and you know what? Give him credit for thinking outside the box, okay? Was that people will want to, fret chords, but up here they'll want that sitar. But it didn't work. Didn't work out. So he felt like he could get some things non-fretted and some things fretted, and the guitar companies were like, that's incredibly difficult to build, and they talked him right out of it. So, but I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's sort of a hybrid, fretted and fretless, but Anyone going down to see Chappers in New York City? I was thinking about going down. I could take the train down for about $50. The problem is the last train back's around 7 p.m., so I'd have to spend a night. And a night in New York City is a couple of $100 minimum. In the crappiest hotel, it's pretty expensive. What's the weight like? It's got some weight. I think it's mahogany, right? And it's maple, so pretty dense woods, and it's a maple cap, so it's got a little heft. I mean, it's not like the Les Paul, right? Well, let's not go nuts, but it's got some weight to it. I'd have to I got to throw it on the scale. I do have a big old postal scale around here that I use to weigh the guitars. It's got a plastic top. It's great. You can put the guitar right on it and won't scratch the guitar. And I like using that. You're going to see him in Houston, yeah. And in Dallas. I'm going to go to the Dallas guitar show. Yeah, the headstock's an acquired taste. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the reverse headstock, but for some reason the reverse telly works. I like the reverse telly more than I like the reverse Strat. I really do. It's the only reverse headstock I kind of like. It's the friggin' telly. Again, wrong mouse. What am I doing? Let's go to. Thoughts on the Charvel Charvette? You know, it was a budget line. They're okay. If I remember correctly, I think they were made in Korea, right? Because I don't even think they were in China yet. They might be made in Japan, but I didn't think so. I thought the Charvette was Korean made, or even Indian made. Ron says he likes the reverse strat, yeah. Right now I'm using TH3 for all my tones. Someone says, what do you use to get your tones? Do you notice a difference in feel with the reverse headstock? A little bit, and I notice it with the Dan Electro too. The long headstock with those long strings and no string tree like you get on the Floyd Rose, there's a little resonance. You get a little bit of, you can, you don't, this is a clean sound, but I noticed it definitely on the Dan Electro, and you notice it here. When large headstocks, you know, even the 3 on the side doesn't seem to be as bad. Get a little bit of, so some people, on the 7 string, I have to foam it up. This one I haven't had to. The 7 string, my Chapman 7 string, I had to put a piece of foam in there. Strings today. I'm hitting the right one, right? Yeah, there we go. These are super high ratio. So you turn it and it like barely moves. The Gibsons are like that too. Really high ratio. Welcome to the tuning channel. All tuning all day. The low E wasn't flat. The whole thing was flat. The whole damn thing was flat. The price on this guitar is like $9.99, I think. Try the coil. How do you do it? These don't pull out. These don't cap. Is it the switch? Is it position 2? That sounds coil tap, doesn't it? Thanks for hanging out, Cheddar. Thanks for the contribution, buddy. Glad you could hang out for a little while. No, that's pretty good. It's not sharp. See, sometimes it's not that you're flat. Just another one went sharp. What's up, Aljongo? What's up, buddy? Right now I'm using a Gator. I don't know why. I usually use Dawman, but I don't see one nearby, and the Gator was right on the table. It's a put on. Hey, what's up, Lewis? Tone King, what's up, buddy? This guitar comes in Sun, which is this, and I want to say a charcoal, but I don't know if it's called charcoal. It could be called not charcoal. Yeah, but someone said, could you play Run Like Hell? Yeah, but this isn't the right delay for that. Where is it? That's not right either. I need something a little bit stronger. And that's not strong enough. I know what you're saying. It's like that first one was a pretty good delay. The Modern Clean. Yeah, you gonna be in Boston this week? If you got some time, brother, head on by. Steve, do you play through Rocket 5 speakers? I do. I rarely turn the speakers on, though I had them on today because I had people over. When I have people over here, not everybody wants to wear headphones, so I just run it through the speakers. But usually usually I just run through headphones. That's almost a little too bright, that amp. Let's find the right amp for this guitar. I think it's the dual heavy rig, you know. What's up, Brazil? Steve, what's the best mini amp, lunchbox amp? For metal, the DSL, the EVH LBX 1 or 2, or the Ignator. Of those three, for metal, EVH, and the EVH LBX 1 or 2. I think is the 2 one the one that's got a more aggressive channel, or is the 2 cleaner? I forget now, but maybe people in the comments will let us know which one was the more aggressive model. I think it was the second one, but you think so? Tone King says the Tone Lounge is looking good. It'll never be a real Tone Lounge unless the Tone King's here. Sorry if I missed it. Guitar Center Guitar. No, this is from Octave Music in Illinois. This is when we turn into Sabbath. We take a Blue Oyster Cult song and it turns in. This is Black and Blue, right? Oh man, that sounds killer. What is it? Yeah, I love the finish on this too. It's a good one. It's got a look. It's a looker. And I was saying earlier, Tone King, that neck's like a Ferrari. Yeah, it's got the proper maple cap and everything, you know. So flamey. It's Flamey McFlame Face. That's what I'm going to call it. I've never named a guitar, but we can call this one Flamey McFlame Face. Put a flame on that. It's a flambe. It's a flambe. Love it. What software is this through? This is through TH3. Oh. Plays from Satchel from Celia. I always play that one. I like the blacked out hardware too. Someone just said I like the blacked out hardware. I like the blacked out hardware too. I think it looks way cool. You know? I like how it's matte. I like the matte against the, you know, simple lines, weaving. Yeah. Of the Showmaster. Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me of, was that the Kramer? Right? Was it the Kramer Showmaster? Was that it? Yeah. Yeah, you're right, the Kramer, right? PRS Lust over? Oh, no, man. The thing about this is that you get a strike when the opportunity presents itself, and so I did. If you turn good deals down, sometimes they don't come back around again. And besides, on the PRS, I have seen some amazing PRS guitars for what I'm willing to spend, but they're not around all the time. So I just gotta bide my time, and I'm gonna get a guitar that I'm gonna be like so friggin' gaga over. Not that I'm not gaga over. I mean, let's face it, the last thing I need is an extra guitar, but people have contributed so much money towards the PRS fund. I'm kind of locked in. Fender Showmaster? Yeah, oh yeah, right. Fender Showmaster. What am I thinking of? What did Kramer make? They made one towards the end that was sort of like this, right? A longer horn, an S style, had the scoop top and bottom. But how many can you own? I know. I'm tripping over them now. It's official. Guitars are in my way. No, it wasn't the Beretta. It was the Kramer Showmaster. Wasn't there a Kramer Showmaster? Stagemaster. That was it, right? $1,000 for Korean, getting a little pricey. You know what? I would say normally I'd be with you, bro. But here's the thing: when they order these from a factory, they have like a checklist. They're like, "Do you want this?" And everything has like anytime you order anything custom, right? Now they can, not that these are any different from unit to unit, but when they're designing the unit, they have to go to the factory and they say, well, what can you offer us? And the factory says, well, we can do this and this and this and this. And when they did these for the Korean factory, they just went and checked every box that was like the nicest thing. So you want a veneer top or a carved top? They're like carved top. You want a bolt-on neck or a neck through? Neck through. Do you want the cheap tuners or do you want the nice locking open Wilkinson tuners? We'll take the nice tuners, just like every box that they could check, they did it. I think it's an amazing guitar. Stainless steel frets, the super thick ebony fingerboard, the glow-in-the-dark fret markers, which, as an old man, is very appreciated. Really like that. I know what you're saying. It's up there, but people are dropping $6.99, $7.99, $8.99 on Mexican Strats and stuff. It's the way of the world. I mean, a lot of the premium Indonesian stuff from Ibanez is between like $1,000 and $1,500, $1,200, $1,100, right? $1,000. So. Yeah, like Tone King says, it's like ordering a pizza. So like they can sit there and the factory guys are like, listen, this is what we offer, and they're at all different levels, and they just checked off best of the best right down the list, and it comes at a cost. Tone King, these are $9.99, but you know how it goes. We get artist pricing. I'll talk to you off the air. You I can actually tell them what I paid, because you're in the know, but they probably don't want me saying, what my artist pricing is. You know how that goes. The pups are Chapman. They're Chapman pickups. I forget the name of them. I probably should have looked it up before I got on here, but it was a busy day taking old bedroom sets to the dump, if you know what I'm saying, and shoveling out in-laws. So didn't have a lot of time. But yeah, they're Chapman branded, so it's whatever they're doing. I think they sound fine. Of course, I just came from that Dan Electro with lipstick pickups. Anything's going to sound dark compared to that guitar. That guitar is bright as bright can be. Yeah, vlog artist. Yeah, artist pricing is a nice way of just saying discount. Not using the word. But that's all it is. It's where they feel that they can get a little bit back through just, getting their product out there. But I was stoked. Still am. I'm like so super stoked. Pretty good, right? I mean, am I right? Oh yeah, the old stereo Ripley. $1:33 a.m. in the UK. Just giving you the 1:30 a.m. riffs. Sonorous pickups. Okay. All right. Is that what they're branding them? So they're Chapman Sonorous? That's what they're calling them? Yeah, same here, Sam. Yeah, exactly. Tone King, how'd you get that sweet rack? I saw that the other night. I was like, nice rack. Ow. It just sounds like the 2:37 a.m. in France riff. Bonjour. I appreciate you staying up. Bonjour. After I said bonjour, I was out of my French. Oh man, the Ripley, the Kramer Ripley. I remember those. Your blonde sking. I know we're gonna lose an hour tonight. Can't we just stay on summertime like all year long? You and TK going to GitCon? I'm definitely going. Ah, merci, merci. Daylight Time 365. Summer Nam? Yes. Going to Summer Nam. I'd love to cover GitCon. Yeah, GitCon's pretty... I can't wait for GitCon. I'm looking forward to it. I know that not everyone can make it because this year it's the same week as the Shanghai show. And some people have commitments to the Shanghai show. So I don't think it's going to be the exact same lineup as last year. But they're trying. You know, they're trying. So I'm going to do the Summer NAMM. I'm going to do the guitar show, Dallas Guitar Show. I'll go down there and I'll say, "Is this where your guitars are?" Be like, "You're not from around here, are you?" Yeah, no Summer NAMM for you this year, I know. I did it on a total whim. Hear a little bit of blues. I like the blues. We can do a little blues. Maybe we'll do switch over to the contemporary blues. Steve, can you please tell what type of pickups are in that guitar? According to the chat group, they're Chapman Sonoris. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if I'm not. But they're Chapman branded. They're in-house pickups, basically. You're from Boston. Get her up, exactly. Tim Pierce is going to go to GitCon, really? That would be great if both Tim and what's his name? Pete Thorne went. El Nico Ceramic. I don't know. I'll have to do a little homework on it. I got the guitar, the basement flooded. The new bedroom set finally was announced that the white glove service is coming like this week. I was like, we got to get rid of the old bedroom set. It's been one of those weeks, Chapman to the Kiesel. Right now, I'm loving the Chapman. They're very different instruments. The Kiesel has a rounder neck that's a little thinner side to side. But it's fatter front to back. It's also a very glossy neck. This is full-on sateen. This is the satin, right? So, they're such different beasts. They're hard to compare. The only thing they got in common are stainless steel frets. That's a maple fingerboard. This is an ebony fingerboard. I think that's alder wings with a maple core. And this is mahogany wings with a maple core. M22 pickups, Chapman Sonoris pickups. They're very different. It's hard to compare them, It's new. It's new. All right, let's. Someone saying, is this guitar new or used? 'Tis new. Steve, is quarter-sawn necks an advantage in sound? I doubt it. There's probably going to be someone out there that'll tell you it makes a difference. Quarter-sawn is supposed to be a little bit more stable because of the way they cut the wood, right? The way the grain is cut versus a flat sawn, right? Does that make the neck vibrate differently? In other words, is a quarter-sawn neck stiffer because of the way the grain is shaped versus a half-sawn neck, right? I don't know. I just know that quarter-sawn, that seems to be the thing because of the way the grain goes. It makes for a stronger neck, as I understand it. What's interesting is that bird's eye, as much as bird's eye looks gorgeous, it's pretty well known. It's literally on the Wikipedia page that a bird's eye is not as stable because those bird's eyes are a series of like little knots, and the wood isn't quite as stable. So bird's eye fretboard, sure. Maybe bird's eye neck. I'd want smaller bird's eyes maybe, but I don't know. I had that friend with bird's eye neck, and it was one of the best necks I ever owned. So, take it for what it's worth. What does your significant other think about the fast growth of the collection? Well, when you get some stuff for free and you pay for some stuff, here's a tip for you guys. If you ever get anyone to send you anything for free ever, the line from that point forward is, it was free. Okay? That's how this works, right? So, not everything's free, but everything's free. You see how that works? Not everything's free, but everything's free. See, what do you think of the new Harley Benton Fusion Pro lineup? I haven't checked it out yet. I would tell you, I like my Harley Bentons. I'm liking them. For, for the money that those cost, my God, those are like the best deals out there. Exactly. If it doesn't show up on the porch, I always had it. If it shows up on the porch, it was free. Guys, come on. It's not that hard. It's free. Check. All right, just making sure. I heard a little click. Making sure I'm not getting clicky with all my clicks. Oh. Yeah, the beer is free. It was all free. Someone just backed up a whole bunch of beer. What am I supposed to do? Say no? I have not demoed the white one yet. The white one right there, right? That Harley Benton. I have not. That's coming up soon. Got all screwed up with the studio build out. That took a couple of days. I did, like I said earlier, 6 more feet of wall. Oh, that took time. And then, you know what happened? When I was building the wall, I burned out my compressor. So I had to go to Harbor Freight and drop, $150 in a new compressor, and hopefully it'll last a couple of years. And, because I get use out of my compressors. Admittedly, I could smell it burning out. I was like, oh, this is going. Then all of a sudden it goes like, and that means the piston broke off. And then it's not pumping the air anymore. It's no more air pumping. Well, that's the end of that. Right to the dump. All right, Jim's Corner, great to see you. It is about that time. We'll be wrapping it up here in about 10 minutes. Exactly, the magazines are free. It's all free. Yeah, exactly. The white Harley Pennant will be demoed on the Viper. Van Halen Amsterdam on that. I don't think I know that tune. Yeah, nobody buys anything anymore. It's all free. Come on, get with the times. All right, guys. Is that car? I think someone just wrote, does this guitar come with a Wimmy box? I don't think they do. I don't think they make a version of this with the trim. Someone can correct me on that, but I don't think they do. I think this one is full up, hardtail. What two guitars would you bring to a gig? Well, one Strat. Definitely a Strat. And then the other one I'd have to think about. This would be a good humbucker guitar to bring. The Carbon would be good to bring. Believe it or not, that Diamond is actually a pretty awesome. You can't see it in this shot. So a Strat and a humbucker guitar. I doubt I'd bring the Les Paul. I'd be worried about it getting stolen or broken. I could bring an Ibanez and be pretty happy. I have a few Ibanez I could be bringing be pretty happy. I love my Telly, but if I bring in a Strat, I doubt I'm bringing a Telly. Hardtail only. Yeah, no trim on the Pro Modern. Yeah. I like this one, though. I can't stop looking at it. I'm looking at it in the friggin', I think my white balance is pretty good this time. I used a special white balance sheet to set the white balance with my cam, and I swear it looks a little better. Not too yellow, not too red. Looks pretty good. Yeah, bring the double neck, right? Then you got everything. Except the back. I tell you, I saw Rick Nielsen at the NAMM show. He was looking pretty hunched over, and I was like, how much of that hunch is caused by wearing that friggin' guitar for so many years? Thanks, Brian. Brian says he enjoyed the show. I appreciate it, buddy. For Rand to come with a case, it did, and it came with a pretty awesome case, too. That case is sick. It's like one of the nicest cases. I mean, for a straight up, it's right there. I'll grab it. Let me take this out. Well, here, I'll do this so I don't. Oh, it's really heavy. But the case is friggin' smoking. I don't want to whack in the guitar and see. But it's a really nice case. It's funny because when the box showed up, I was like, geez, not a lot of, because I never get a guitar with a case, right? It's always a box that's inside a box. So there's like a big giant box. Then there's a smaller, like trapezoidal box like inside. You know what I'm talking about. But this wasn't like this. This was a much tighter thing. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And as soon as I picked it up, I was like, oh, this is heavy. This has got a case. There's a case in this there box. And sure enough, there was. Will's Easy, thoughts on Will's Easy guitar getting shut down? I didn't know. I didn't know about it. I wonder why I wonder why. Someone must have complained or something. I mean, why would YouTube do it? Was it a copyright thing? They're usually pretty good about everything except for copyright. That's the one thing that they'll shut you down about. Steve, what's your opinion about mini pedals for a travel board? I like mini pedals. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the mini. If you can get a good sound out of the mini, I would take the mini over the large every time. The main thing you lose out with a mini is the ability to put a freaking battery in it. Right? That's what's not in a mini, is a battery slot. But it's going on a pedal board, so what do you care? I throw it right on the old pedal board. Well, got caught with his pants down, like on camera? Well, that'll do it. I find that hard to believe. Did you get a lot of chicks back in your rock star days? Oh yeah. Oh, the women I got. Oh. It is looking fantastic. And I'm using the same camera. Thanks, Showman. He's saying the video is looking fantastic. What camera are you using? I'm not using a new camera. What I did get was this, which is an 18% gray card. That's just a reflector. But that's too white. That's a gray card. And that gray card is what meters are looking for when they're setting their white balance. That's what they're looking for, not a white sheet. You know, they say just stick a white sheet in front of it. A white sheet is 90% of the way there, but if you want the best possible white balance, you got to use the 18% gray card. That's an old photography trick. So I just set that in front of the camera. I knew I had it, and I had set recently it for my 4K cam, and I was like, wait a second. If I can set it for the 4K cam, why can't I set it for this? Because it does have an automatic mode. So I just flooded it with that, hit automatic, it set it, and when I took it away, I was like, damn, that's looking good. All right, dudes, 8:58. We've been going for 2 hours. I think it's time to wrap it up. I really appreciate everybody hanging out, especially Jablonski, because it just went up on the screen. But no, seriously, everybody, it was awesome, everybody hanging out tonight. I had fun. I hope you had fun. And I love the new guitar, and I'm going to be cranking up the videos again. We are expecting another nor'easter, our third one in 10 days, on Monday or not into Tuesday, but now they're saying it's not going to be a big deal, so I should be okay. But you know how that goes. So I will bid you adieu. And I really appreciate you hanging out. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. I've been trying to do them every couple of weeks, so you know, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And and we'll do it all over again. But I really appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate everybody who contributed. I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, I have to get the right mouse. This is a slow-moving train wreck right here. Until then, as always, try not to whack the guitar. There you are. Where'd you go? There you are. Rock on. And now I will awkwardly hold this and stop streaming. Later, dudes.